I approached the water of the creek. I could see movement under the water. Fish. Fish were fighting the current, even in the shallow parts of the creek. I saw some, barely moving, resting in the lee of the rocks. I quickly sprung into action. I ran back into the bush and found a long stick. I tried to move as quickly as possible. I didn't know how long the fish would be here. I kept an eye on one of the fish in particular, as I pulled out my small knife to whittle a point onto the stick. Once I was satisfied with my spear, I approached the creek again. My heart was pounding. I'm probably only going to have one chance at this. My target was practically still. I readied my weapon. Now! With the Furies flashing under my strike, I knew I had done it right. The other fish vanished as I waited for my victim to stop moving. I pulled it out carefully. I did it. I really caught a fish. I stopped for a moment and looked up. It was striking. I had never seen the stars so clearly before. It was beautiful and unsettling at the same time. I had the strangest sense of butterflies in my stomach, as if for a split second, I felt like I could fall up, away from the earth. As soon as it came, it went. I stared up at the stars. I searched around the dark forest floor for something useful. A glint just barely caught my eye. I looked closer and saw a wire. Around it was a strange display of raised sticks in a T-shape. They were blending in before. Now, they seemed obvious. As I followed the wire to the tree with my eyes, I suppressed a shudder. It's a snare. A really big one. I gulped. I'm really glad I spotted this before stepping in it. I touched the wire. It's sharp. I'm not leaving this up. I looked carefully for the ring of the wire at the base of the trap. Using a branch from the forest floor, I pushed the center stick of the contraption. The wire whipped up past me. I let out a relieved sigh. Not this time, asshole. I decided to climb the tree. I looked up at the tree and grabbed a branch to hoist myself up. It was hard to see which branch to pick in the darkness. I kept climbing slowly, trying not to look down. As I broke above the canopy, I could see starlight. The forest around me was like a black sea, frozen in time. For a moment, I felt detached from my current reality. It really was kind of beautiful up here. My hands were getting cold, and I knew I'd better climb back down. I carefully descended and returned to the bottom of the tree. I felt a spark of cold on my face. I looked up at the sky. It's snowing. I stared up at the moon. This is it, isn't it? I can't make a fire anymore. It's been days. I've gone past the point of panic, then past the point of despair. Around me, snow began falling in clumps, silently obscuring the world surrounding me like a dream. I looked up at the snow slowly pouring from the sky. I didn't know I could be so alone. You have never been alone. I spun around trying to find the voice. It didn't seem to come from any direction. Hello? I guess it isn't so strange to be hearing voices by now. I stilled myself and tried to listen. You don't have to be afraid. Where? Who are you? I don't need a name anymore. I've been watching you. I'm probably not even hearing anyone. I'm just hallucinating. You move in a delicate way, a timid touch with time. I've watched you dip your toes in the water, just a step back, always stepping back. I shivered in the darkness. You have tasted death before, though, haven't you? I felt a hint of warmth as a tear rolled down my cheek. The voice was so soft now. There's no more chrome and glass. No more howling in empty streets. You came here to the root and bone, softly rotting. I stepped forward. I tried to speak, but my face was so cold. I fell to my knees. Shh. I found a place on the edge of a knife between decay and the devil. You've come home. You'll never hurt again. I looked up as the snow landed on my face, at the moon. Yes, you belong with me. Something wrapped around me. The pain from the cold slipped away, just as the voice promised. I got to my feet and began walking. The forming ice crystals under my skin were crunching. I walked anyway. There was no pain. I wasn't in control anymore. I opened my eyes to the black abyss. Nothing. This feeling, so familiar, tied up and on my knees. I hear footsteps nearing, getting closer. So close, it's almost like he's right on top of me. He gripped my blindfold, ripping it off my head. Once my eyes adjusted, I took a step back and took a good look at him. He is so much bigger than I remember him being. Maybe that's just an illusion now that I know what he's capable of. Yep, it's a little late in the year. Your job is to survive. Mountain's a dangerous place, understand? Here, supplies for the mountain. He reached out his hand, and without a second thought, I took the backpack full of supplies. In the backpack contained a knife, a flint and steel, something to write on, and a bag of trail mix. All right. Run. I immediately turned around and began sprinting as fast as I could. Everything hurt. It felt as if I was breathing in shards of glass. That's when I heard it. The distinct sound of an arrow whizzing by and crashing into a tree just mere feet beside me. I ran until I could run no longer. Exhaustion had surely caught up. I stopped to listen for him. Nothing. I decided to stay in the clearing and catch my breath. Besides, I got this knife for protection. What's the worst that could happen? Something was wrong. I looked around myself, trying to find the source of my uneasiness. The birds. The animals weren't making any sound. I was knocked to my knees. Then I felt the pain. I gripped the ground and half stifled a scream. I looked down and could see the tip of a crossbow bolt protruding from the front of my thigh. Quickly whipped around trying to see where it came from. He's here. I saw the slightest movement from behind a tree and quickly came to the conclusion that I need to hide. I knew I couldn't run now. I moved quickly and tried to stay low as I looked for cover. The movement I saw was far away. I have enough time. I spotted a dip in the ground and the fallen trunk of a dead tree. I slid in close to it and laid down against the ground. I tried to steady my breathing and listen past my pounding heartbeat. Soon, a slow and soft crunching of dead leaves hit me. Bit my lip as the sound got closer. Soon, he was so close, I could swear I could hear him breathing. No. I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing myself. Then the footsteps walked away. Dug my fingers into the earth below me. He was really leaving. I stayed there long after I couldn't hear him. Until I couldn't feel my hands, and I was certain he was gone. As I tentatively moved to sit up, I became more aware of the throbbing in my leg. I won't be able to walk like this. I gripped the tip poking out of my pant leg in the front. The pain came flooding back. I clenched my teeth and pulled hard. Thankfully, the bolt came out fairly easy. I held my leg with as much pressure as I could, hoping that it would stop the bleeding. Judging by the slow ooze of blood, it hadn't managed to hit any major artery. I breathed slowly on the ground and clutched my leg. After some time has passed, I got up and made my way back into the woods, limping and clutching my leg along the way. I guess now is as good of a time as any to go to bed. I made a fire and slowly drifted off into sleep. The sound of the fire crackling seemed a bit hypnotic. I stared into the flames as my muscles relaxed from the tension I didn't realize I had. For a moment, I could imagine I was just camping. Everything was okay. It made it easy to nearly miss the crack that came from behind me. Hey, how you doing? So sorry to leave you on a little bit of a cliffhanger there, but I need to go to bed, and for me to go to bed on time, I had to cut it short so that I could finish editing in a decent amount of time, because it's 7 o'clock right now, and I go to work in 7 hours. So, yeah,